Hi, this is Cheryl, and this is a video, kind of following the question of um, feeling like, one of my legs is too weak, has had long-term issues like sciatica, to be able to walk up and down stairs easily and well. And so the question was like, what should I do to strengthen my legs so I can climb stairs? And so, looking at a movement study that looks at strength building in two ways. So, the first, of course, is doing enough demand. Like if you're building up your bicep muscles, you have to make enough demand that you actually send the signal to your brain that you need more muscle fibers to keep up with the activity that you're doing. So, that's important. And that comes from doing movement that uses the resistance of your body weight or other kinds of weights to really place that demand. But the second kind of strength that I'm really most interested in is how we create a sense of strength by improving our coordination and our ease of movement. And so I want to take a look at the activity of like folding and unfolding in our joints and how the sequence of that can work in combination with the use of our spine to create an easier coordination that you don't need to rely so heavily on the capabilities the capabilities of your muscle fibers, and the benefit of that if you do this kind of movement exploration over time, you will be building those muscle fibers because you're moving your body mass through the field of gravity. Okay, so the first part of this exploration, we're going to look at this issue of how can we go from sitting to standing and exploring this timing of how it is that we squat in order to do that. So if I start in standing, I'm just going to slide down here so you can see a little bit more of my body. We have the options of we bend our ankle as part of it, we bend our knee, and we bend in our hips. And so it's good to notice in your own timing, if the goal is to get down and sit, which of these joints leads the way, which does the most work. Often we rely a lot on our knees. And so if we take in this kind of idea that I have a whole spine connecting my pelvis and my head, both of those are very large weights. So if I think about the movement of my pelvis and the counterbalance of my head moving through space, and then folding my joints appropriately to move that, I can have a much more easeful way to fold myself down and sit without falling or plopping, and to unfold myself forward. And so two things to really note are, to the extent that my head goes forward, my pelvis goes back, and then I'm bending through these joints simply to, arrive with my pelvis on the table. But the same goes the other way. So as my head goes forward, even though I'm seated on the table, my tailbone, my pelvis goes back, and this unfolding allows a much easier way of coming up and coming down. So what does this have to do with stepping on stairs? Well, I'm going to use this little mat as a little simulated stair, but we have a very similar relationship in this place, that I'm standing, and in order to do the job of lifting a foot, I can haul it up with my muscles. And if they're weakened at all, if they've been in contraction out of something like sciatica, then I'm kind of working to pull that up with strength. I can take a similar sort of piece. So if I bring my spinal column here this idea that if I'm well positioned in this foot and I have this relationship between my pelvis and my head, again, I can bend the way I need to simply to bring a lighter leg forward so that I can lift and place and do the same on this side. As soon as we kind of distort ourselves, our chin forward to the side, taking the weight of the head off of this longer base of support, we make a much heavier leg to lift. And then it's a lot more work, which you could argue that'll create good muscle fiber strength, but it may also create pain. It may take a formerly injured area like the sciatica area in the low back and make it painful again. So we're looking to maintain this relationship so that we can have a light leg to lift and step, and then to do the same when we're looking to come down, that we can lower ourselves and simply place our foot in the lower step. So just a couple of things to play with for yourself, noticing things like how far is your chin forward, where is your head positioned relative to your spine, how are your head and pelvis moving together through space. And the proof's really in the pudding. If this is well connected, your leg is easier to lift. And so you get that immediate feedback. If you feel like you have a heavy leg, then go back to noticing how you're moving your head and pelvis, what kind of shape the line of your spine is, and then how you're getting the connection from the ground through your bent ankle, your knee, and your hip joint, such that you can raise a lighter leg and place it with some kind of control without falling onto it. Thanks for tuning in.